Because then it's basically giving them free will to just go lights out. They're comfortable. I don't want them being comfortable. I want them to sweat. I want my opponent to absolutely be nervous, be shaking. Because, I mean, if I throw that good, they ain't got a choice but to put them in the hole.
The goal of this channel is to help players achieve whatever level of cornhole they choose, whether that's winning more at local blind draws or becoming an ACL pro. I would like to thank Shane Childers, a local pro who agreed to get interviewed. He's currently looking for a sponsor, so if you're interested in sponsoring him, please reach out.
Shane Donovan Childers, and I'm an ACL pro. I think I'm 42 in the world. I've kind of just fell off the radar.
Do you want to jump back on the radar?
I don't like to jump back on the radar.
And who's this gentleman over here?
This is my boy, Easton Childers. Taught me everything I knew right here. What's your name?
Easton.
Childers?
Yep.
What do you love about this sport?
It's family. Big family, man. My wife, my kids, my father-in-law, my dad, we all kind of joined it together. He got me into it years ago. It was like a backyard sport. Now it turned into the love of the sport.
How often do you practice?
Twice a week.
What do you do for your practice?
I just practice for the kids.
Do you consider coming to these blind draws practice?
Yes.
And how many blind draws a week do you go to?
3 blind draws.
You meet an opponent for the first time. It's at an ACL tournament, so you know he's good. First bag, slide in or block?
Slide in.
Why?
Nerves. You get them out of your system. Instead of running about trying to throw it too high, too short, you either front it or it goes left or right. So that's the first one is, most of the time it's nerves. Take your time, get it in the hole, then the second one's a block.
You've been battling with this person. You know how the person plays. First bag, slide in or block?
Block.
Okay.
Most definitely block. I don't play the person, I play the game. So I try to keep that in mind.
Talk more about that you play the game, not the person.
Well, whoever's beside me, I try not to think of them being like either on ESPN or on SportsCenter. I try to think of them as just a regular cornhole player, like I have in the backyard. You see what I'm saying? So I feel like when you do the whole thing of making the person bigger than what he is, kind of throws you off because now not only is your nerves settled in, but now you're thinking you got to throw a different game than you used to. Because normally you ain't got to do it anyway. I just pretend like I'm at home with my dad. Slide him in the hole, be comfortable.
What's the most meaningful match you've ever had?
Probably last year. My major against Caleb Hurt and Kalen Allen. It's 2 different matches, but it's the biggest major of the year last year. It was in Knoxville, Tennessee, and I just walked in the door and I was talking to a couple of kids that come to Zero Town with us. And we were talking, and they was like, "Who are you scared of in here?" I said, "I ain't, no, you can't be scared of nobody. You know what I mean? Because we're all human. If you poke us, we're gonna bleed red." So I would say Caleb Hurt was probably, for me, was a big one because the kid's a stud. Now, of course, everybody knows Kalen Allen. Now he's the GOAT, but that was probably my biggest match ever. I won it all. That's my first major I've ever won in my life ever. So I won it all, but it was a nail biter. But when I walked in, I guess you could say I kind of felt like really good because the whole day I never once rushed a bag. Every bag I threw, it was just so confident. I just felt it. I was in the zone. It just felt right. If I could do it every time, I think I'd be unstoppable.
If you would like to support the channel even more than watching videos, please subscribe. It helps me a ton and it allows me to upload videos just about every day. Do you prefer singles or doubles?
Singles.
Why?
I feel like I'm letting my partner down. When I throw myself, I technically feel like, I'm letting down myself. So that's only motivates me. Because I know at the end of the day, if I throw a consistent 10, I'm really hard to beat. So if I throw with doubles, partners, it's almost like I'm either impressing or I'm letting down.
Is there anything you do to prepare for a long cornhole day?
Well, normally before, as far as big ones like that, I normally send up a good prayer to my dad. Because it's like he's basically the one 7 years ago got me in the cornhole. And throughout the day, of course, I try to drink water. But as far as warm-ups, I try to be alone. I gotta get my thoughts right, you know what I'm saying? Because I know that eventually, throughout the day, you're gonna have to go battle for battle. game after game after game, and it's like you got to be mentally ready for all that. It ain't
What-
just physically; it's mentally.
What are examples of good thoughts?
I would say probably just knowing that no matter what he's doing or saying or whatever he's doing with that bag, I'm gonna overcome whatever he's thinking. Then I don't know what he's thinking, but as far as the block, airmail, whatever it is, I just feel like no matter what my bags are doing or his bags are doing, it's almost a mental block of there's nothing you can do to stop me. I'm going in the hole. I'm doing me. It's a Shano. Take my time, breathe.
Are there any questions you wish I would have asked?
I would say that's a big one for me, God. Because he is the ultimate gift. For my kids, me, of course he gives me the ability to throw the bag. Of course I give up sometimes, but I'm just like, you know what, stay with the game and love the game, man. Don't give up. But never give up. Just keep throwing the bag in the hole and don't ever give up. Because it actually, you're setting more of an example to anybody than anything else. Just smile, you lose or win, just play the game the best you know how and love the game. Because more importantly, you're actually being a role model. You ain't got to be a superstar, basketball star to be a role model. You're a football player. That's it.
Is there anything else that you'd like to share with beginners or anybody else?
I would say when you get to the boards and you're intimidated or you feel scared or you feel like you can't do it, you just feel like pressure, just breathe, take a deep breath, play the game, not the name. That's all I know. That's it, man. Because I heard that from a guy named Mark Richards, ACL pro. Don't play the name, play the game. So that kind of, honestly, that just, my mind just lost it. I was just so happy he said that. So thank you, Mark.
Do you have any pre-game rituals, meditations, or anything that you do to get ready for a big tournament?
Talk to my wife. She calmed my nerves. She's like, honey, just do you. Just don't give up. Just kind of the mentality is mama mentality. She always tells me she loves me. Good luck and do your best. I'm rooting for you. No matter what, you're not letting me down. So yeah, my wife and my kids are my biggest motivators.
You had a bad throw or a bad round, just one. It's not the end of the game. What are the actual things that you do or say to yourself to get back into the game?
Don't do it again. No more. Because normally a bag left or right can either cost you the game or it can spiral real quick downhill. Just because cornhole is more mentally than it is physically. Just because of the whole strategy part. And I've always told my kids and everybody I throw with, make it as least motion as possible. The least motion, I feel like it'd be more consistent. So as far as like my mentality, if I give up a big round, shake it off.
What do you do to shake it off?
Breathe. I honestly, the deep breaths help me a lot in flipping my bag. When I get up there, normally when I'm playing a really good person in singles, I'll walk the board real slow. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, I got to meditate. I got to think about what I did. Like, okay, I let it go too high, I let it go too low. Don't do that again. Just don't do that again.
You have a game-winning shot. It could be easy. Open board, you slide it in, you win.
Mm-hmm.
It could be an airmail drag. It doesn't matter whether it's an easy shot or a hard shot. You're on ESPN, game-winning shot. What do you do? Of course you go for the shot, but what do you do mentally, physically to calm yourself down to make that shot?
Back up, calm myself, and just say.
What do you do to calm yourself?
That's hard because I've been in a couple moments like that, and it was like, and of course, hitting those shots are life changing because then you feel like there's nothing you can't do. You know what I'm saying? Whether you hit it or miss it, you're just like, just being in the moment to me is just like overwhelming because now you're stepping back, you're thinking to yourself, okay, I'm here for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Championship game, correct?
Big match.
Oh my God. Step back and take 3 deep breaths like I normally do. Just that's really a good question because it's hard to answer because I feel like that question is one you meditate on because it happens so much. Because some people think that big games are small games. You see what I'm saying? Like playing against a rivalry at home or at a regional. So it's like those kind of games. Breathe, take your time, hit it. Let's do it.
I like it.
Let's do it.
Your opponent is being super loud, or chewing gum, or doing something that's annoying you, or taking 11 seconds between every single round. What do you do so it doesn't affect your game?
Just because people do that mentally, and they do it on purpose. And it's really a knock for them, but kudos for you, because it's almost like they're trying to, like, kind of like throw you off your game. Just don't let it get to your head. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it's almost like a flaw they have. Overlook it. I don't wear earbuds or anything in my ears just because I feel like if I lose, that's an excuse and an escape for me to be like, that's why I lost. So if I lose, I lose. I try to be a man about it. But people like that, to me personally, that's insecurity. That's just me. Just because I feel like they're not where they want to be at in their game, so they got to shout it out instead of holding it in. I just think that's kind of a weakness, I guess you could call it, in their game, because they have to shout out to throw you off. It's almost like stepping over the board. See what I'm saying? It's almost like that. So I look at it as a sign of weakness. People do that to you.
Your partner is playing really badly.
Mm-hmm.
It could be in a blind draw like this or at an ACL championship. What do you do or say to your partner to get them back in the game, and what do you do for yourself so their bad play doesn't affect your play?
Good question. I would time out first of all. Hey man, it's not a big deal. The bag's unthrown. You didn't give up the points. Time out. We'll meet in the middle. Where we'll meet at and be like, look man, I'm not mad at you. It's not a big deal. I love you. You know what I'm saying? We've been here before. At home, nationals, no matter where we're at. Just do you, man. Just keep your head up. Smile. It's a game. I'm proud of you regardless. We got here for a reason. Whether it's the first game or the last game, I'm just glad you're playing with me. So basically, I would say just keep your head up. And then once again, play the game, not the name.
Do you play any mind games?
No. No, sir.
Give an example of someone playing a mind game that affected you.
Well, I was in a major in Augusta one time. People do that most of the time when they throw a bag off. And they don't necessarily say anything until you start throwing. So they'll throw the bag and they'll left or right, and they'll just start kind of bursting out in like a tantrum, as if they're just, you know what I'm saying, their dog got shot. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, hey man, let's, we can't help the fact that you just missed left or right, you know what I mean? Hopefully I capitalize, but like, that's my example, because I feel like when you do that, at least like step back and do it to yourself in your own little world. You know what I mean? Don't make it to where you'll astronaut, because I feel like it's not really judging. It's just, like I said, showing a weakness, because it's not fair. Because now I'm over here thinking, if I miss, then he's already got it on me that if he misses again, then he's in my head. So the last thing I want my opponent to do is think they're in my head. See what I'm saying? I don't ever want that. Because then it's basically giving them free will to just throw lights out. They're comfortable. I don't want them being comfortable. I want them to sweat. I want my opponent to absolutely be nervous, be shaking. Because, I mean, if I throw that good, they ain't got a choice but to put them in the hole.
That was beautiful.
Thank you, man. You're my hero. You're a great guy.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, son.
So click right over here and watch the next video. I hope all 4 bags go in the hole, and see you next video.